How's it going, everyone? Just want to do a review of a 2024 Gasgas ec300. I've got about 12 hours on this bike, so I do feel that's a good enough amount of time for me to kind of give my honest input, some of my likes and dislikes on it, some of the parts that I have on the bike. So I'll just kind of run through everything. And like I said, this is a 2024 ec300. I haven't found a ton of videos on YouTube, kind of just dedicated to this specific model. So hopefully this is helpful to some of you. I guess starting out, we'll start with the tire setup on here. Out front, I am just running the stock Dunlop AT81. I do have a Nitro Platinum mousse up front. Somewhat happy with it. I typically like the Tusk Talon for the front tire. So just once this kind of wears a bit, I will swap a Talon on there. Out back here, starting out, I swapped on a Tusk Recon. I am not sure why I kind of made this decision, but I ended up putting a platinum mousse on there, and it was way too stiff of a setup. Honestly, it felt like I was running like 20 PSI, and as you see, this tire actually only has 9 hours on it, and I was just doing burnouts everywhere. So I ended up putting a Nitro plushie. And then this is a Tusk Talon. Very, very happy with this tire. Pretty gummy. And the type of terrain, so I live in St. George, Utah. So it's 95% rock. And then, you know, the dirt we do have is just blown out sand, you know, nothing too tacky. So the Talon hooks up great. Don't get a ton of hours out of it, but it's a very affordable tire, so I'm really happy with that setup. Let's see, we're running the ec300 swing arm protectors. Been happy with those. These ones are going to be held on with magnets. Jeez, sorry. But they're also held on with zip ties. As you can see, I just broke one today on a ride. The crosslink components ones do look like a better setup because they're bolt on, so I'd love to try a set of those. But these have, you know, been good for me on this bike. So a lot of the parts I was running, this is an ec250. A lot of the parts I ran on this bike is kind of similar to what I'm running on this model. Just wanted to try a few different things on this one. Never tried a pipe guard before, but I thought I would give it a shot. This is gonna be from E-Line. We're running the bulletproof radiator guards. Those definitely are, I feel, best in class as far as radiator guards go. So I'll probably always run those. We've got the Ec300 front rotor guard. I've always been kind of hesitant to run a metal front rotor guard, just because, like I said, I do live in the desert, and so I feel it'll kind of grab onto the rocks rather than this will slide. Just my opinion. Some ec300 fork protectors. These are just, they were like $20. I feel it's like better than nothing, so threw those on. Ec300 hand guards up front, and then just the ODI stock grips, ODI bar ends, little foam donuts just for the thumbs. I do run the Trailbound front bar bag. This thing's awesome. I can fit pretty much every one of my tools in there. And then I do throw a couple in my hydration pack. Let's see. Enduro Engineering sensor cover right there. This for the skid plate, I did give the Tusk skid plate a try. I am running the AXP on this one, and I like the AXP better. The problem with the Tusk one is it's pretty much impossible. So if you can see, there's 2 bolts there in the middle. It's almost impossible to tighten that bolt due to the exhaust, which is a huge pain in the butt because I feel like I remove the skid plate relatively often just to clean it for oil changes, whatnot. So if I could, do it over again, I probably would have gone with the AXP, but that's the only reason. Other than that, it's been performed as it should. I do like the Acerbis frame guards, just because they've got this rubber texture to it that really grips my boot a lot better than the stock ones. Just a little billet oil cap. Let's see, anything else? This build is definitely just kind of protection parts. Everything is stock. I do have, let's see, rear rotor guard from Tusk. And then I'll kind of go into some of the likes and dislikes. Starting out with the likes, the motor pulls and it's just the smoothest thing I could ever ask for. It's very, very responsive. There's no bog whatsoever, assuming you're in the correct gear. I did put a map switch on this, and I can really tell the difference between the white and the green map. The green map does have quite a bit more pep compared to the white, but I do like the white map, kind of when I'm just like getting tired, or if I'm just like I said, in no rush, I'm going through some washes, some slower single track, I'll just cruise with the white map. It's a little bit easier on my arms, where the green map is very, very peppy. It's a little bit more responsive. So I would say 70% of the time I'm in the green map, the other 30 I'm in the white. Let's see, I did have a crash. So that lasted maybe 2 or 3 rides. So a dislike would be, I liked the older version where they had the rubber straps rather than the bolt-on right here, because just with the bolt-on there's zero give whatsoever, so you can break things rather than the straps kind of having a lot more give. I even broke a tab down there, so this is the only thing holding it on, so that's cool. I did break the shroud as well, so I did have to zip tie stitch that back together. Nothing too bad, but it is a little bit of a bummer. That is going into another one of the dislikes, I guess, with the whole plastic kit. Right here, this all is one piece, and so your air box, your air filter is sitting in there, so you've got to pull this entire piece off, which is a huge pain in the butt, because you've got to now slide these into these 2 tabs perfectly right there. So I wish that would just be how it used to be, where the airbox was separate and had its own shroud. Same on this side. This is all one piece. So it is a little bit different. Not a huge fan on that. And then kind of going along with that whole system, it's odd that the seat bolt is nowhere. You would not find it. The seat bolt is actually going to be right here. So you have to remove the shroud to get to the bolt for the seat. The KTM one is going to be sitting right up there. And then the previous version was just right there. So I'm a big fan of where KTM's is, just sitting right there. And this piece right there is also not the most convenient because it's covering, it just has a little bit more coverage when you're filling up gas. It does look pretty nice though, so. Other than that, let's see, the suspension, the rear shock, pretty happy with that. I would say stock form on the rear suspension is much better than the previous generation. So reasonably happy with that in the stock setting. I don't know if it's maybe, I definitely am a much better rider than I am when I purchased this model. And the front forks on here are just, I'm not a huge fan. They're going to be the open bath spring fork. I just feel like a closed cartridge setup is definitely the way to go. These ones I do have revalved, and these are going to be a revalved air fork. I do like that, the settings that I have on this bike. But I am looking into a couple of different things that I would like to do with the forks. Rather that be the just WP 6500 kit or the MX Tech Slavin's Mule system. That's just a drop-in cartridge, and I've heard nothing but great things. Obviously, it just comes at a price. So let's see. Like I said, for as far as what I don't like about the forks, it's purely just high speed. The slower stuff, they are great, but the high speed, it just really deflects, and I just don't feel stable in any way. Let's see, cockpit. I do like the cockpit. This generation of bars does have quite a bit more rise, so I do feel comfortable with that. Everyone's been complaining about the on-off switch. I'm really not, it's not the worst thing. I might prefer the stock or the previous system, but this really hasn't been too bad for me. Other than that, like I said, the motor on this bike is fantastic. When I first purchased the bike, I was looking into the two-stroke performance ECU tune, and then the medium compression head. But I've been very, very happy with the stock system. So as of right now, I plan on leaving the motor as is, and then just getting the suspension to the way it needs to feel. Let's see, I don't want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I have absolutely no input on the stock headlight. I ended up taking that out after I had this crash. I didn't damage the bulb at all, but just all the plastics. But I will be doing some night rides in the near future just to give it a try. But I don't intend on doing a whole lot of, early morning or late night rides. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. Thanks so much. Bye.